Sikorat lived in a bustling university hostel with her two close friends, Ife and Amina. The three of them shared a single room adorned with celebrity posters and scattered with stylish clothes and makeup kits. Ife and Amina were known for their love for partying and the nightlife. Every weekend, they dressed lavishly, wearing the latest shoes and sparkling jewelry. They always had a different guy waiting outside in flashy cars, ready to take them to clubs or fancy restaurants. Sikorat, on the other hand, was different. At 23 years old, she was quiet and focused. She never missed her lectures and spent her evenings studying. She had a boyfriend, Ochuko, who worked at a bank in the town. Though Ochuko wasn't wealthy, he was kind and responsible. He would visit her occasionally, bringing small gifts like snacks or fruits. While Sikorat loved him, she sometimes felt embarrassed because Ochuko couldn't spoil her the way Ife and Amina's boyfriends spoiled them. One Saturday afternoon, the girls sat in their room chatting and laughing. Ife held up a shiny gold necklace that her boyfriend had just gifted her. Can you help me with some money? Ochuko looked at her, surprised. Braiding your hair. How much does it cost? Sikorat hesitated. It's about 15,000 naira. Ochuko frowned. 15,000. That's a lot of money, Sikorat. Why do you suddenly want to braid your hair? I like your natural hair. You don't need all of that. You're beautiful just the way you are. Sikorat's heart sank. She had hoped he would understand, but his response left her feeling hurt. She smiled weakly and quickly changed the topic. Deep down, she felt disappointed, but she said nothing. Days turned into weeks, and life on campus continued. One evening, Ife's boyfriend arrived with a surprise birthday party for her. He came with a bouquet of money wrapped neatly in ribbons and a box filled with expensive gifts. Ife screamed in excitement, and everyone in the hostel gathered to celebrate. Wow, your boyfriend is too much, one of the girls said. You're so lucky. Sikorat stood in the corner, watching the scene. She smiled, but inside, she felt a deep longing. She wished Ochuko would do something like this for her. Later that evening, Ife invited Sikorat to join her for her birthday dinner. You must come, it's at a fancy restaurant in town. Everyone will be there. Sikorat hesitated. She didn't have a dress suitable for such an occasion. After much thought, she decided to call her boyfriend Ochuko. She went into the room, closed the door, and dialed his number. Hello, Ochuko, she said softly. I need a small favor. Can you send me some money? I want to buy a dress for Ife's birthday dinner. Ochuko sounded concerned. A dress? Sikorat, you don't need to go for that dinner. What's the point? Stay in your hostel and focus on your studies. But Ochuko, please, she pleaded. It's important to me. No, Sikorat, he said firmly. You're better than that. You don't need to be running around like the other girls. You should focus on your studies. Trust me, you don't need to go. Sikorat's heart dropped, and she hung up the phone, fighting back tears. Unbeknownst to her, Amina had overheard the conversation. Amina walked into the room and sat beside her. Sikorat, why are you still with this guy? Amina asked bluntly. He doesn't spoil you. He doesn't let you enjoy yourself. What's the point? Sikorat didn't know what to say. Listen, Amina continued. You're beautiful, and you deserve better. If Ochuko won't treat you like a queen, someone else will. I'll give you one of my dresses tonight, but you have to promise me something. What? Sikorat asked, hesitant. You have to meet someone new. Forget about Ochuko for just one night. Sikorat hesitated, but, feeling the pressure, she nodded slowly. Okay. That evening, Sikorat wore a stunning red dress that Amina had given her. It fit perfectly, and for the first time in a long while, she felt beautiful. When they arrived at the restaurant, the atmosphere was lively, and the room was filled with laughter and music. Ife's boyfriend had gone all out, and everyone was having a good time. As the night went on, Sikorat felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had never been in such settings before. She glanced at Ochuko, but quickly pushed the thought aside. Amina whispered to her, pointing to a table across the room. That guy over there has been staring at you since we walked in, Amina said, and they both laughed about it. The party was everything Ife and Amina loved, with loud laughter, flashing cameras, and bottles of expensive champagne. Everywhere Sikorat looked, men in designer clothes flaunted their wealth, tossing money around like it had no value. Sikorat felt out of place but stayed glued to her seat, sipping from a glass of juice that Amina had brought her. Suddenly, a tall, confident man approached their table. He was strikingly handsome, with a bright smile and dressed in white with gold accessories that sparkled under the light. Good evening, ladies, he said smoothly, his eyes fixed on Sikorat. Good evening, they replied in unison, though Sikorat's voice was shaky. My name is Chika, he said, growing more confident. You must be the most beautiful woman I've seen tonight. Sikorat shifted uncomfortably, unsure how to respond. Thank you, she said quietly, glancing at Amina, who was already grinning. Your beauty caught my attention from across the room, Chika continued, ignoring the other girls who were vying for his attention. I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I think I'm already in love with you. Sikorat let out a nervous laugh. I think that's too soon, she replied, smiling weakly. Chika laughed, then leaned in closer. Maybe, but I'm just being honest. A queen like you deserves to hear the truth. As the night went on, Chika tried to get to know Sikorat better, asking her about her life and studies. She wasn't interested but responded politely. Later, when the party was winding down, Admina whispered to Chika. Why don't you take her number? She's shy but sweet, Amina said, grinning. Before Sikorat could protest, Amina handed Chika her phone. He saved his number and called his own phone to ensure it was saved. Thank you for making my night, he said with a final smile before walking off to join his friends. On the way home, Sikorat was quiet, but Amina was buzzing with excitement. Can you imagine? The best guy at the party picked you out of everyone. Amina exclaimed, shaking Sikorat playfully. I didn't ask him to, Sikorat said with a sigh. Stop being boring, Amina replied. He likes you. He's rich, handsome, and clearly interested in you. What else do you want? Sikorat didn't respond, but she couldn't stop thinking about it. Days turned into weeks, and Sikorat's life was changing rapidly. She continued to enjoy the lavish lifestyle that Chika introduced her to, but there was a growing emptiness within her that she couldn't shake. She kept telling herself she was enjoying the finer things in life, but the joy was fleeting. Every time she caught herself thinking about Ochuko, the man who had always been there for her, she felt conflicted. One evening, as Sikrat relaxed in her hostel room, scrolling through her phone, a message from Ochuko popped up. "Good morning, my love. I hope you slept well. I'll call you later to check on you. Have a great day." Sikrat stared at the message, her heart heavy. She missed the way Ochuko's messages made her feel cared for, even if they were simple. But her mind quickly shifted to Chika, handsome, wealthy, and always giving her extravagant gifts. She had everything she wanted, but there was a part of her that felt like she was losing herself. As she prepared for a date with Chika that evening, she felt a mix of excitement and guilt. Chika had spared no expense in treating her to the finest experiences. Tonight, they would dine at an exclusive rooftop restaurant in the heart of the city. As Chika pulled up in a sleek black car, dressed in an elegant suit, Sikrat couldn't deny the rush of adrenaline. She was living a life she never dreamed of, but the price of it was beginning to weigh on her. At the restaurant, Chika's charming demeanor never faltered. He showered her with compliments, ordered the most expensive dishes, and even had a live band play her favorite songs. For a moment, Sikrat felt like a queen. But as she looked around at the other women at the restaurant, all of them dressed in designer outfits and lavish with attention from wealthy men, a sinking feeling grew inside her. Was this really the life she wanted? "So, what do you do for a living?" Sikrat finally asked, unable to ignore the nagging curiosity. Of regret. Ada was on her bed, scrolling through her phone, when Sikrat entered. "Where have you been?" Amina asked casually. Sikrat threw herself onto the bed, feeling a mix of anger and sadness. "He's a fraud. He's been lying to me about everything," she said, her voice shaking. Amina looked at her, confused. "You're being dramatic. What's the problem? He's rich, handsome, and interested in you. That's more than most girls can say." Sikrat sat up, glaring at Amina. "How could you set me up with him? You knew what he was doing, and you still encouraged me to go out with him." Amina rolled her eyes. "You need to stop being so naive, Sikrat. Everyone's doing it. If you want to live a comfortable life, you have to stop acting like hard work is the only way." Sikrat shook her head, tears welling up in her eyes. "I can't live like that, Amina. I can't live with the guilt." The tension between them grew as the days passed. Amina continued to pressure Sikrat, but she remained resolute in her decision. She would rather be with Ochuko, the honest man who loved her, than fall into a world of lies and deceit. A few weeks later, as Sikarat was studying for an exam, her phone buzzed with a new message. It was from Chika. "I miss you. Let's meet up. I want to make it up to you." Sikarat hesitated, her fingers hovering over the screen. But then she remembered Ochuko, his love, his sincerity. She deleted the message without replying. Days turned into weeks, and Sikarat threw herself into her studies, determined to focus on her future. But the temptation of the glamorous life she had experienced with Chika still lingered in her mind. She began to question whether she was making the right choice by staying with Ochuko. One evening, while Sikarat was revising for an exam, Ada barged into the room, her excitement palpable. "You won't believe this," Amina exclaimed, holding up a brand new designer bag. "Chika sent this for you. He feels bad about how things ended and wants to apologize." Sikarat froze. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. Amina handed her the bag, and Sikarat's heart pounded in her chest. She knew she shouldn't take it, but the temptation was overwhelming. "I can't take this," she said firmly, pushing the bag away. "It's wrong." Amina shrugged dramatically. "Fine. Stay in your righteous world. But don't come crying to me when you're stuck with a guy who can't even spoil you." Sikarat lay in bed that night, thinking about her future. She had made her choice, but the pressure to fit in was becoming harder to ignore. She missed Ochuko's honesty and warmth, but could she really live a simple life forever while others flaunted their wealth? The next day, Sikarat received a message from Ochuko. "Good morning, my love. I hope you're doing well. I'll call you later to check on you." Sikarat smiled softly, knowing that despite everything, Ochuko was the one who truly cared about her. But as she thought about her life with him, the glimmering world of wealth and luxury haunted her. Later that day, Sikarat received another call, this time from Chika. "Let's meet up. I promise, I'll make everything right," Chika said, his voice smooth and convincing. For a moment, Sikarat was torn. Had learned a valuable lesson. True happiness didn't come from money or status, it came from love, honesty, and staying true to oneself. And while the road ahead was uncertain, Sikarat knew she would never again let materialism define her worth.